Boys and girls, we are live and ready to go. This is going to be a fun one today. We had a pretty cool slate yesterday. I didn't have, we and Smitty were talking before the show. I wrote up Blanco, but didn't have the heart to play him with my Houston stack. And I went Gill instead. And I mean, I also have a bunch of Gill in season long. So Aaron Boone, like, I don't like you still because there's no reason to pull him there and not let the kid get his first win other than Boone's just a giant jerk.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of yesterday's slate?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. We knew pitcher was kind of up in the air. I don't think anyone expected Blanco to throw a no hitter, but um, the one lineup, I think I had a couple with him. The couple I had with him did all right, but I didn't have Manea. So,
Yeah, and our optimizer was actually trying to get me to bring Duran, um, and I didn't go with him. Like it really liked him, and obviously he stole those couple bases. He had a nice day, but we got we talked about it on the show. We got on that Houston stack, but we had a nice day betting. We hit Kyle for the double homer at plus 4,000, so that always makes for a fun day.
oh, yeah.
So you think we'll start off with the Mets Tigers? You think they're getting this game in?
I don't know. I was just looking to see if there was any update on it, but the last I seen it still looks pretty dicey.
Yeah, I'm not gonna mess with it. It's not
No.
worth it with 19, 9 games on the slate. If it's start, stop, I just that one's not worth it to me. But we are gonna get in the games in Chicago, it looks like now. I'd pretty confidently say those are going. Looks like the rain's gonna pass, and we just got a very, very ugly Rockies lineup again. That K rate is really high, and it's making me like Assad a lot more at ownership.
Yeah, I could get with Assad. I know he's one of the top projected pitchers overall on the site. He's only $6,600.
Yeah, especially at DK where you're throwing two.
Yep.
It's really right. Like that's going to give you an option to go up and get a different, get a different guy. And let's go here. Yeah, right. So we just got confirmed. You can see we got I didn't pull it yet. We got our confirmed lineup here. So I like that quite a bit. I mean, I get it's Assad. He's not like this amazing pitcher, but at his price with that K rate and who they are, it's there. The way the wind's blowing, interesting there. It's a little more side to side. What are you liking on the Chicago side?
Chicago side, I like the bats there. I like Target and Freeland. I like Christopher Morel, Cody Bellinger, kind of the top 5 or 6. But I also like Garrett Cooper a lot. I like throwing him into my stacks.
Yeah, his price is right today too. So
Yep. Especially on FanDuel, he was. Let me see. He was really cheap there.
Yeah, he's gonna be
2,300.
Yeah, he's gonna be one of my dumpster dives today, like the top dumpster dive at his price. Like that just lets you get, some of these other games you want to target. Which the next one I expect ownership to get going up. The only thing that's going to keep it down is like the Dodgers. They're just so pricey. You got to pick and choose, which batch you're getting in. But I get it's going to be in the 40, it's going to be in the 40s there. But the wind's blowing out at 15 miles an hour in a home run hitter park. So, I'm going to get me some access to some of those Atlanta bats. I actually really like Azuna today. We'll see how the young kid Garrett does after that first outing. But the south side, I like there, and then I like the left-handed bats. They're projected in our park factor pretty well. So little Michael Harris maybe. If anybody that knows me knows how much I love Matt Olson. So what do you think here?
I'm in on the Braves too. I think Crochet had a good first start, but he's his whole reporting is basically he can't control. He has no control. And the first time, he had a good matchup, but now he gets the Braves, a left-handed pitcher going against the Braves that normally don't end too well.
No, and they're that was like last night we had Boyle's walk prop, and it's just what he does, right? Like the kid has gas and he's electric, but he can also don't throw a lot of strikes.
Yeah.
So I will say I like Lopez today. They let him be their fifth starter for a reason. He's priced right at 7,500. And that Sox lineup just isn't great. They got a couple extra lefty bats in today. But if it's kind of like last night, if I can get, it's almost the Gill situation, but it's not a good lineup, right? If I can get 5 innings out of him, get 5, 6, 7 Ks, don't give up, give up only a run or two at his price. Again, that just, you start talking with him and, you go with the Chicago boys, right? Like that starts opening up some of those bigger bats to you today.
Yeah, I'm in on Ronaldo Lopez for sure. He's probably one of my favorite pitchers, kind of like how Gill was yesterday as a value. I like targeting the White Sox lineup, and like you said, he's their fifth starter for a reason. They had faith in him, and it's a revenge spot.
Yeah, I just like him here today. He'll probably here's a good chance he's my single entry pitcher. Like as of right now, depending upon where I land, I really got to start cranking after this. I had to be an adult and work a little bit today. So and then we're gonna go back to the Blue Jays tonight. Ownership's back down today, right? We got Framber and Barrios. Considering how good he's been, Framber at 8,500's pricing isn't crazy. I don't hate it at that price. I definitely have him in GPP.
Yeah, I agree there. I was looking at him some. I think the thing with Framber is, he's going to get the pitches, he's going to get the innings, and they have a lot of trust in him. So even if he gives up a couple, he's still probably going to put up a pretty solid outing.
Yeah, I'm not touching Barrios today. That Houston gets hot, like they're good.
Oh, yeah.
You can look here at what Jordan's, ISO is, a pass. Like I'll just move on.
Yeah.
That's a pass for me on that today. But I like Houston's bats again. I think they're going to be a little more owned. I think they'll end up being a little more owned. We'll go look at stack ownership after this. But right, I loved Yonder yesterday. The Opto is another one. The Opto really liked Chaz. If you went Chaz on FanDuel, you were in great shape last night. Always got to stack against the A's. It's gonna be hard to not throw an $8,000 Bello. Listen, he's gonna be highly owned. He's gonna be 25 to 40%, but he's probably worth it at $8,000 versus that lineup they're gonna put out.
Yeah, that lineup, they just keep proving me wrong. Like last night, I didn't play Houck, and they just keep striking out. So it's a pretty tough fade there.
Yeah, that's they're getting to the point like you almost have to throw against them. And I really like Bello this year. Again, I want to see their actual lineup, but I think it can go there. And the A's pen is so bad. I really like Tyler O'Neill tonight. I think O'Neill's going to have a big night. I could see Rafaela getting a couple stolen bases. So it's there. I'm not touching a $6,000 Alex Wood hard pass. Best, what I would say is probably the best second, first or second best pitching matchup tonight. I'd argue this is the best one. We got Castillo versus Better Belieber. And what do you think of pitching here? These are two of the most expensive guys on the slate.
Yeah, I kind of liked Bieber at first look. I still kind of do. I don't really like the ownership there, but Seattle hasn't looked great. And then Bieber's increased velo, it really showed out in his first start. I know it was a pretty easy matchup, so he'll really test it here. But as far as Castillo, I liked him originally, but our projections are really liking the Guardians, and I think I'm kind of going with that.
Yeah, it's just not worth the price for me today. Like he's just not worth paying up for. There's not enough edge in that. When you start looking at this, right? Like you start looking at Polanco's K rate, Garver's K rate, Raleigh's K rate, Hanger's K rate, right? You start looking at the K rate of a lot of the, Mariners. And if Bieber keeps that tick up, right? I mean, we know what he can do. And the other thing I don't like here is the over under 7 in this game. So, right. The books are telling us they don't expect a lot of runs. So, right, that's another stick out. Two good pitchers there, so I'll tend to, in like these type of games, avoid the bats, but then I'll look at the pitching when I see it that low. because that's a pretty low number there today.
Yeah, it is.
So one of my favorite bats as a one-off today that I think is going to get not get owned enough is Nolan Arenado. He owns Darvish in his career, just owns him. Like he's just absolutely crushed most of his career, and Hughes hasn't looked amazing to start the season. I haven't looked at him and been like, oh my gosh, like it's you. I'm so excited. What do you think about him tonight? I mean, he's hitting almost 500 against him lifetime.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him. I kind of like this whole Cardinal stack. They came through yesterday. Certain pieces did, and I think just getting to like Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, and I like adding Victor Scott at minimum price. That stolen base upside.
Yeah, enjoy it because I mean, I think once they're healthy, if you keep stealing like this, they might force their hand. But they had set him down for a reason. Again, min price. You can see here Gorman projects pretty well. And then on the Padres side, I kind of like Miles today at 6,200 bucks. All I need to do is pitch around Tatis, right? It's like the Sox lineup. Just don't pitch to Luis. Just pitch around Tatis. Literally, just walk him when he gets up. Just put him on base and make the rest of the team beat him because nobody else is really hitting yet. Shout out my boy Merrill. I did give him a shout out on the show yesterday, and he went yard for us, so that was kind of nice. Had a little exposure in 3 max with him, but I'm not excited about the Padres today. But I do like Miles at that price.
Yeah, I'm never a Miles fan, but I actually do like him today. FanDuel, I was looking, he's 6,800. He's definitely in line to get you a quality start. And then DK, I was looking for his DK price.
62.
62, yeah, that's just way too cheap.
Right? I mean, you get right back to, the guys we were talking about earlier. You get at 62, you get 2 $6,000 pitchers, right? The Braves bats, some of the, the Astros bats, the Dodgers bats get a little more, interesting. This next game, I kind of like it's the Yankees Diamondbacks. Now, everybody's off right now at ownership. Everybody's off the Yankees tonight. I get it's Gallen, right? But man, a lineup that can put up a lot of runs in a great hitting ballpark, against, I think I just like it there. I like going back, the flop lag the next day when people didn't go with them and go back and give them a run there. Velo is just crushing the ball. You're going to try getting exposure to the Yankees today?
Yeah, I am. I like the Yankees. I haven't looked at Gallen's ownership, but I'm sure it's probably up there. Like you said, you get the flop lag right there.
What do you think about no Corbin tonight for the D-backs versus Cortez, giving the lefty a seat? They moved Blaze up. They're running 8 right-handed bats against them, right? They only have them because the other guys are switch hitters. They only got McCarthy. You going to try to get some Diamondback exposure?
I don't know. I think they're okay, but I think Cortez is pretty decent. I think Blaze is interesting at his price, and then Barossa at his price. But those are the main 2. As far as the expensive bats, I'd look to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm okay not going there tonight. And then, right, this is the same as we don't have their lineups yet, but this is the same every day, right? It's just fade the Dodgers at your own risk. My spot here is Freddie. Same thing. Freddie's got he's faced Webby a lot. You got to remember, they've both been in the National League a long time. He's hitting 407 lifetime against him. I get Freddie had a big night. So what I'm hoping is that brings some of his ownership down today. Right. Gets it down because they're going to be like, okay, hey, he had a big night. Let's go somewhere else. He's not going to go back to back, but right. It's there. And then for me, it's watching ownership. If the Dodgers stay low, I probably won't throw Webb. If the Dodgers start getting steamed ownership wise, I like a pivot with Webb because he is one of the guys at $8,300 that, he does have the arsenal even against this Dodger team to break a slate.
Yeah, I agree. Always Dodgers. I'll always have exposure to Dodgers.
Yeah.
I'm looking at their ownerships right now. It's just insane. They're all under 10%. FanDuel's the same way. So I definitely like the Dodgers.
Yep. I don't like the Giants as much tonight. I now, if you want to, if you want to go, want to get a little wild in here and try to get, somebody really cheap and then just have all the big bats in a game, you can try to go that route against them. But I'm not going to go back to the Giants tonight, which pains me to say as a Giants fan. I love it there, but as we start looking at projections and we're getting stuff run here for the main slate, we'll go over there. Main. One of the things we saw this last night, right, as we start looking at like stack ownership, right? Understandably so, at $4,300, the Cubs are up there, Sox are up there, Braves are up there, but for me, the Yankees are 3.5 and the Dodgers are 3.5. Now I get the Yankees at least because it's Gallen, but man, the Dodgers stack ownership. I get they're expensive, but at 3.5, that's kind of that's gonna give you some leverage if you go real cheap pitching.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. Most of these people or the field is going to be paying up for pitching. I kind of like going that mid range or even paying down for pitching and fitting a stack like the Dodgers, the Astros, just these low owned teams.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Dodgers, Astros, Yankees are all. Mariners Mariners are low owned, but I don't love them today. But on our home run projections, Dodgers, Astros, Yankees, 3%, 5%, 3.5%, right? Like that's, man, right? Like that's how you get leverage on a field, guys, is like grabbing these and looking at them and going, okay, hey, like that's some decent leverage there. So yeah, those are some spots we like today. Who's your favorite way to get weird with today? Like what's a weird spot for you today?
Oh man. I would say my favorite, let me look at ownership. Ronaldo's 10%, so I wouldn't go there. I would say I like playing Miles Mikolas.
Yeah, I mean, at his ownership, right? As we're looking at pitching ownership here, I mean that's right. Like, right? If he's less than 2% at $6,200, you can get real interesting real fast. Like I get who he is, but man, like that ownership really goes up. And Barrios I'm off of, but I definitely I'm the same. I'm Lopez. So for me, I mean, I'm gonna eat the chalk on Bello. I don't understand Darvish's ownership today.
No.
So like as we start looking at this, like I like make a card stack, man. Like have some cards exposure, right? Like a 30 right now, we're looking at like 35%. Like those are wild numbers. So it's a our challenge is we don't get the Cardinals right. Like
Yeah.
that's just understand that about me and City is we don't get them right.
Oh yeah.
We got some people making jokes. Yes, right. Like we're right. Nobody wants to even us say we like them today because if we say we like them, we're gonna screw everybody up. But yeah, like that's that's. But that you start looking at ownership, guys. Like that's a wild number, man. Like Darvish right now is projected to be the third most owned pitcher. So you go the other way. You use a Cardinal stack with Miles, man. But if I play them, they're not going to do anything. So like that's like just know that about us. I mean, we're actually due. Like the law of averages say we're due there.
Yep, we are.
I don't hate a less than 10% Framber. But right, I don't want to like I'm gonna like a Cleveland stack against a 25-30%, Castillo if I'm in GPP, and then hitters wise, dumpster dive. I'm probably going to go same. You said it, Blaze. Man, I'd love to play Colt Keith if the Tigers were actually going to play. I'm going to avoid that. But same, Victor Scott still min at 2K. That price there again. Just you start mixing Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers, like that. Braves. You start mixing that in there with those cheap pitchers. You guys, you can really get those big bats in today. And for our moonshot, talk us through who you're going with here today.
Today I'm going with Garrett Cooper. Garrett Cooper going against Kyle Freeland. Cooper's going to be towards the bottom of that lineup, probably lower on than the rest of the Cubs. And the main reason I like him is his ISO against the sinker is 231. So fire up some Garrett Cooper.
Yep, I like that. And then I'm going boring today, guys, but there's value in this. We're going Shohei today. Plus 375, right? For one of the best hitters in the game. That matchup today, I get it. Like what I'm looking at is I really, the reasons I like him is Freddie's history against Webb, and how Webby is against some of these lefties like him. I think there's a chance he Ks twice, but right. I also think there's a chance, Webby hangs one of those sliders at him and Shohei hits it 400 feet out of the stadium. So, and again, this is just a value spot for me on our moonshot of the day. And if you want a real ones that are, that we're giving extra stuff to, we're going to see, we got one. We're going to see if we can go back to back today on the double moonshot. We don't do a lot, but you only got to hit them every so often. We had members winning $4,000 and $5,000 yesterday on that. So paid for their subs for the year. So let's go try to have a good day. We'll see you guys in Discord.
Let's do it.